I'd like to introduce to you all Priti Kumari, who is a blockchain team lead at McKinley Rice Technologies. She's very experienced in DeFi, Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, and Hyperledger Fabric. And she's also currently pursuing her PhD in blockchain alongside her full-time job. Let's give a big shout out to Priti.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Priti. Would you like to give like a short introduction of yourself?
Sure. So, as Elaine already mentioned, currently I'm working as a blockchain team lead at McKinley and Rice, and we are working for a South Korean company. That's our client, and I have submitted my PhD thesis as well and got comments on that. So soon I'm hoping I'm going to finish my PhD. And next month in the project, we are going to launch the pilot service of our D app that is based on Binance's smart chain. And my role is client or customer facing there, where I have to understand all the requirements and provide solutioning and architecting with the latest technologies, to name a few: NFT, IPFS, ICO, IEO, IDO, sidechain, Brazos, token economics, and anything related to the blockchain. So in addition to that, I have to make sure that the project is getting delivered on the timeline that we have decided. So yeah, this is how I'm progressing in my career.
That sounds amazing, Priti. And congratulations on securing your PhD. I'd like to ask you, do you have an area of expertise in blockchain? So is there any particular blockchain topics that you're passionate about, especially?
So all the points I already mentioned, I'm working on of DeFi, whether it is bringing an ICO, IDO, or IEO, or working with NFTs or IPFS or Brazos or sidechains or token economics, whatever I mentioned, or with the Binance Smart Chain or Polkadot or Polygon Layer 2 technologies. Even with Hyperledger Fabric, that is a permission blockchain network. So I'm experienced with, along with the research experience and implementation experience and project delivery.
Right. It sounds like you have had a lot of experience in blockchain. So happy for you. Yeah, it sounds like you're really enjoying it a lot. Can I just check? Can I ask you, when you first gained exposure to blockchain, and could you tell me briefly about this experience?
Yeah, it started during my PhD. So that time I had this Bitcoin everywhere. Bitcoin, Ethereum was everywhere. So first I started reading with and learning the technologies behind Bitcoin, how blockchain is working, how proof of work is working there, what other consensus algorithms are there and all. Unfortunately, we had some expert faculties at our college, IIIT Bangalore. So this is how it started.
Wow, that sounds amazing. So you just came from like your interest into like a whole, like from your PhD interest into like a whole full-time job. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So can I just, sorry. So can I just ask you, why did you choose blockchain?
So this is a totally personal feeling, that what I feel that blockchain has power to give control to the general public. So nowadays, everything is associated with either with the government or some bureaucrats. But blockchain can really bring power in hands of general public, whether it is operating rights or decision-making rights or Even I will give an example of introducing a currency. So was it possible for a general public to introduce a currency so far? No. So that was currencies were totally regulated by our government and all. But now anyone can bring their currency and they can trade, sell in their currencies, right? So that's a huge shift, power shift we can see through the blockchain. So that's for just one example, but this power shift can be achieved through multiple domains.
Yeah, I do agree. It's like quite amazing how anyone with the knowledge can just create their own currencies and also just like start their own like trading in their own currencies. It's quite interesting and very different from how it was like in the past. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, just a follow-up question. Just like to ask you, what is your experience like as a woman who is working in the blockchain industry so far? Uh,
I must say that so far I have quite good experience. So every day when I wake up, I feel that I have a chance to make an impact on this world. Now, with this tokens, as you already mentioned, a general public can now bring currencies, their projects, everything in the market. And people are interested. If then they are going to vote for that, they are going to vouch for that, they are going to participate in it.
right.
Or yeah, so definitely there are less number of women in crypto space so far, but this number is increasing. As you may know that half of the workforce at Binance is made up of women. So numbers are increasing and I'm having good experience.
Yeah. I'm so proud that you are one of them. Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
was there anything that you found like difficult or particularly challenging when you first got started in the industry, or like maybe in like your own experience, like with handling like blockchain projects and things like that?
So as I already mentioned, like I started 6 years back. And that time there was not plenty of reading materials or implementation materials available, and documents and repositories weren't maintained regularly. So that was one of the issues. Sometimes it was difficult to understand some concepts, but now there are plenty of decent courses on Coursera, Udemy, and everywhere, as well as YouTube videos also, like we can see each and every step. So now it is, though we are advancing in technology, but there are plenty of resources as well.
Yeah, I do agree that there's like quite a bountiful of resources out there that you can access and gain knowledge on blockchain especially and educate yourself on that. It's actually quite
Yeah, these
cool.
meetups, these groups, so everything is there. We just need to ask for help, right?
Yeah, I think you can even like, if you have any questions, you can also like post on like those Stack Overflow forums and ask for help. And I think that's really like cool that people are just reaching out to help. So just one, like, not sure if you mentioned this, but will you be able to describe some of the projects that you have worked on personally and you like find it very intriguing? Would you be able to share some of the details as well?
Yeah, sure. So one of the projects was peer-to-peer energy trading. So a user was able to sell surplus energy directly to local consumers without any intermediaries, and they can get instant payment using smart contracts. Then another project was vendor management. So in that project, there were different vendors. Those were giving supplies for a particular product, for manufacturing of a particular product. And the data we were sharing with everyone with every vendors, but some data needs to be kept secret from each other, right? Like at what prices we are buying a particular stuff from a particular vendor. That doesn't needs to be that doesn't need to be disclosed. So such kind of information with transparency, we had to maintain some privacy. So that was one other project. Then I was working on supply chain management for food traceability from farm to plate. So, and there were several issues involved in that project. So, and one of the issues I will just slightly discuss here, like how blockchain data analytics will provide the real-time data view to the companies involved who are providing ingredients and products throughout the food traceability can really decrease the food wastage if we can get a real-time view of the data and all. So this is how that project was. There were other features as well, for sure. Then blockchain-based advertisement platform, and what this blockchain, public blockchain, is meant to bring advertisers and consumers on the same platform without any intermediaries. Advertiser get a transparent view, real-time view, even like where they are spending their money, to whom they are paying money, and all such kind of data. So these were some projects like I have worked on.
Oh, they sound like really wonderful and interesting projects. It's like a lot of these things that you're doing seems to have to do with in real time updates and like at the same time bringing the consumer level to the directly to the business level, and I think that's really cool. So have you had any like has any of the projects you've done on so far like impacted you, or like has it like allowed you to gain any particular insights that you found?
All so of far? The projects. So I have participated in close to my heart, and I have learned every day from those projects. But if I have to mention, then the project I'm currently working on, the last project, what I mentioned, blockchain-based advertising platform, is like still impacting me a lot because I'm looking over the whole project, and I'm learning things apart from technical sides as well.
Right. That's really awesome. I hope you learn a lot and also get to grow a lot as well. Okay. Would you be able to describe like your day-to-day workflow and how is like your usual workflow like? Especially now we're during the pandemic, right? A lot of people are being forced to work from home as well. So would you be able to describe some of the things that you've been doing so far to cope with the situation, and also how do you usually go about to do your work?
As you already mentioned about this pandemic, there is no office timings now. We are available. We are always available. And whenever we find time, we keep working on the project. So, but mainly, like I start my day early. So, as I already mentioned, currently I'm working for South Korean flight. So they are 3 hours ahead of us. So that's why I start my day early and prepare for the meeting, and then I take internal call for our team here in India. And then we go for the meetings, discussion with the client, what are their requirements, what we want to suggest to them. We prepare all the documents, what the developments we have done so far, and we note down points, what has to be worked upon. And in the day we perform that, we are usually active on Slack and line chat. We have a different line chat. Slack. We convey messages if needed, then we go for the meetings as well. And in the evening, again, we will have EOD, end of the day meeting. We conclude our day, we plan for the next day, what we are planning to do. And this is how we end our day.
Wow, that sounds like there's lots of meetings from like every day. So how do you manage to find time to do any like sort of coding or like to even get your hands down work done?
So frankly speaking, so not in the coding much now. And yeah, and whenever is like some other hands-on experience you are speaking of, then if it is a deadline or if we have to, so we are, as I already mentioned, we are bringing pilot service next month. So have to provide all the statistics and data and the survey reports and everything, have to decide the strategy. So we do it. There is no other way around, right?
Yeah, to be honest. Yeah, you're amazing. Can I just ask you like, so what kind of technologies do you use? Do you use like, how do you determine like what sort of technologies do you use in like each project as well? Does it go by like the problem statements also, or do you discuss with the clients and then come up with the sort of technologies that maybe they will want to use in your projects as well? Yeah,
So
just
actually,
want to know
we
more.
suggest actually we suggest technologies, like what technologies we can use it, and for that there should be a proper reasoning why we are going to use this technology, not the other equivalent technologies and all. And technologies you are speaking of, when we had started this project, like we were thinking of, there was, I'm just talking in particular in this project scenario, we were like whether to deploy on Binance Smart Chain or on Polygon. So that's also a very refined question. That question also came after so many refinements. Why not on other blockchains? So then we do analysis, how much transaction per second so we are getting on each chain, how much complexities are involved, then what will be the cost of transactions and all. So there are so many factors on which we decide, okay, this is the most efficient as of now. And speaking of problem statement, this is a very dynamic technology, I would say. The technology not that dynamic, but whatever the surroundings environment around this is very dynamic. So for a project, am I on?
Yeah, I can.
So for blockchain projects, it's not like we define a problem statement 6 months before and we can still work on that. So it keeps changing. And that is my work, to provide what's the latest features are coming into the market and what technologies they are using behind that. So the blockchain is an umbrella term, and underneath there are so many other things involved.
Yeah.
So like, and if we aren't going to provide latest features in our project, then it's difficult to compete in the market, right? So problem statements, features also changes with time, and this is how we work.
Yeah, could you provide us with some examples of how like the problem statements might change? Does it change based on like what's needed at the moment, or like when you find something that maybe does not work and then you have to like try different technologies, that sort of thing?
So the it's like there is a problem statement and there are sub problems, right? So
Okay.
if I would have say, I would have been more specific. Sub problems are may change, but the main problem statement, like what we are trying to achieve, that is not going to change. But how we are trying to achieve, what additional features we are going to provide there, what functionalities we want to have, that may change over the period of time.
Yeah, that makes
Even
sense.
before the first release of the product, that may change. Later on, definitely there will be some addition. So this is how it works.
That was very insightful. Thank you so much. So just asking as like a beginner blockchain developer myself. So like asking on behalf of the audience as well. If like anyone wants to learn blockchain or they are really new at blockchain, what skills would you suggest that they would need? And can you share with us some of the top frameworks that you use and some of the tech stacks that you might find very helpful? And why do you use them?
So before mentioning any technology, I would say you can start any good courses over the blockchain, because they have a collection of anything, and you can go with your own pace, first thing. So there are many courses on Udemy and on Coursera. Especially, I have gone through DeFi courses on Coursera. Not for the blockchain courses. For blockchain courses, I had taken some NPTEL courses years back. So people can start with such courses, NPTEL courses or Coursera courses or Udemy courses. Now coming to the concepts, what they need to understand before starting blockchain, or when they want to get into blockchain, they need to understand cryptography, how public key, private key works, what is the public key cryptography, what are digital signatures, and such kind of thing. Then they should have an understanding of distributed system, peer-to-peer networking, consensus algorithms. Or coming more to developer side, they should have an understanding of algorithm and data structure, and at least one high-level programming languages like C++, Golang, Java, JavaScript, and they can use hands-on experience of working with Ethereum, Corda, Polkadot, Hyperledger Fabric. There are so many tutorials available, and visually getting started with Hyperledger Fabric. And everything is there, step-by-step implementation. And they can use tech stack like Solidity, Truffle, VS Code, Remix, Get, and they can start on their own writing smart contracts, compiling it and deploying it. There are test nets being provided from each network. You must have heard about Ethereum mainnet, Ethereum testnet, Binance mainnet, Binance testnet. So they can deploy on testnet. There will be no charges for that. And for testing purpose, they provide Ether also, but those are test Ethers, test BNB, test BNBs. So they can get started with such helpful resources, I would say.
Would you have any advice or tips for like starting out? Like if let's say I don't know where to start from, would there be like one place you would suggest that we can start from? Like for example, like any particular topic that you might find yourself like that it's like easy for you to get into, that you recommend to others?
Cryptography, the very first thing.
Yeah.
Not a person needs to go in very detail. If they are going through research approach, then they have to. If they are going through research approach, then they have to go into deep cryptography. If they are going through a developer approach, then they don't have to go into deep cryptography, but they should have a knowledge of some underlying things like how private key, public key, digital signatures, digital certificates, and these things work.
Okay. Yeah.
And all of the materials I already answered in the previous question.
Yep.
Yeah, those also belong. Those also like comes as an answer to this question as well.
Yeah, I think they will be good starters. Thank you for that. So now moving on to a more like blockchain technical question. So can you tell me why blockchain is such a trusted approach? And why do people really enjoy using it? Like, would you be able to briefly tell me more about this?
Yeah, so first I would like to speak about what blockchain is. So blockchain is a distributed ledger. What does it mean? A ledger that is being maintained by each node or by each participant. So since we all can see the data clearly, transparently, without any modification, that's how blockchain brings trust in the network. And suppose if anybody changes even a single piece of data over there, the hash of that block is going to change. Not that block, all corresponding blocks are going to change over there, right? What is a blockchain is like a collection of blocks where hash of one block is attached to another block, to the next block, right? So if a piece of data is being changed at any point of time, that is going to reflect on the whole blockchain. And it is difficult to replace all the blockchain at all the nodes. So as far as we have 51% honest nodes, we are going to have trust on our blockchain.
Yeah, that makes sense actually. So recently that I've been seeing that there are many integrations into blockchain into different fields such as healthcare and cybersecurity. So what are your opinions or if you have any insights to this, would you be able to share them with us?
Yeah. So since blockchain provides us transparency and immutability and distributed ledger, real-time data view at each and every end. So blockchain is being integrated in various fields. That's true. And any person can see the data on Block Explorer that is available to anyone. So they can check, they can validate whatever the data is being recorded, that is open to the public. And so far, what has been happening, like if you were talking about healthcare industry, so far, like in India, at least the system works like whatever our prescriptions will be, that will be stored at the hospital server. So if either we make a copy of it at our end, taking a snapshot of prescription and storing it at our end, there is no way of getting that data from the hospital. Even if we ask them, okay, provide me all the prescription and everything, they hardly do that. They will provide you just one or two prescription, latest prescription and like that. So suppose you move from one hospital to another hospital, what is gonna happen? We won't have any track or history until and unless we don't maintain it. So if we miss anything there, any prescription, that could be crucial to our health. And suppose we ask for the data from the hospital, which is already storing our data, they might change our data and we won't be aware of that. I won't say that they will do it intentionally, but they, by mistake also, they can do that, right? And we can't verify that, whether it got changed or whatever. Even a hospital can sell our sensitive data to third parties, to research organizations for medicine trial purpose and all, right? And a patient is not going to get incentives for that. But it is patient's right to get incentives because it's patient data. So how much, and the other thing is like health data is very important. So because it relates to our life, right? It is even
Yeah.
more important than our credit card details. And that's one of the reasons like why the credit card details are being sold at the lesser price than the healthcare data in black markets, because there could be some crucial information about your health, and that we don't want to disclose with anyone, right?
Correct.
And what hospital is doing with our data, we aren't aware of that, whether they are selling this data to someone, or whether they are selling it with a price, and whether they are maintaining this our privacy or not, whether they are providing our name and our other personally identifiable information as well to the third parties and such kind of information. But blockchain can bring transparency in the whole system. As I already mentioned, the public user will get more control of their data. They can decide to whom they want to sell, with whom they want to exchange and all. So definitely there is a big market for blockchain in healthcare and cybersecurity fields as well.
Yeah, I can definitely see the perks of that and it being implemented in the near future. I've heard you mention a lot of pros of using blockchain in this industry so far. So how about like consequences? Do you think that there might be any if you use blockchain in these industries? Or
Yeah,
like any
there,
industry, like honestly?
there are many. As the first thing I will mention, as I already mentioned, that all participating nodes will have a copy of ledger. That means too much of resources is getting wasted for storing that data, for computation of that data, for checking validity of that data. Because if there are 5 nodes in the network, all 5 nodes are gonna maintain a blockchain, right? So earlier with a centralized system, there is only one node which will be maintaining the data. So in terms of storage, you can see like 5 times more wastage, 4 times more wastage of data. So that is one of the disadvantages. Then if we go for scalability, then also we have to consider all the systems integrated and all. That also becomes an issue. Then all the transactions happening on the blockchain happens through a private key. And whoever will have an access to the private key, irrespective of who that person is, whether whether he is holding his own private key or others' private keys, whoever is holding the private key, they can authorize the transaction. So managing private keys is also a hurdle, because sometimes we just can't trust users to manage private keys. They might not be that much illiterate or that much tech savvy that they can manage their private key. They might lose their private key. And you must have heard stories like after there were some persons who had lost their private key and they have lost a big amount of bitcoins, remember. So once it is lost, then lost. There is no way of getting back those coins or tokens or any kind of information. Then, as I already mentioned, more resources, then more cost than the centralized system. And still the field is developing. So still it is immature. So there is lack of development resources or some technical expertise in the field. So that is there.
Well, that makes a lot of sense as well. I hope that in future maybe they might be able to like get that up and with more people working on blockchain now, I think that might be happening real soon.
Yes, I hope so.
So Now onto more of like the jobs resources kind of questions that I have for you. Would you have any recommendations on like let's say if any members of our audience is interested in jumping on to the blockchain industry track and they would like to look for jobs? Do you know where they might be able to find these? And so what sort of jobs are maybe available, and would you be able to briefly explain like about that?
Sure. So LinkedIn is nowadays a perfect place. Then
Yeah.
this Naukri, Monster, those are also some places. And okay, through reference also. And for beginners, I would say they can join some groups as well.
Oh,
In India, WhatsApp is famous, and there are some blockchain enthusiast groups and some other blockchain groups. They can join on Telegram, and so whatever the group which or social media that is
right.
popular in their country, yeah, they can join there and they can keep themselves active over there, even by posting something on LinkedIn, something relevant, I would say. So on, yeah, so then there is a high chance of landing to a job. And there are various kind of roles, I would say. For developers, there are always jobs for developing smart contracts, bridging solutions, and integrations as well. And for persons who are already experienced, they can look into some managerial jobs, and where they can decide the strategy of the project, blockchain project. As I already mentioned, some token economics, or managing the whole projects, what technology will be coming, what technologies we are going to provide in this project. Because this is, as I will mention it again, this is an umbrella term. So under this, there are so many features and functionalities the blockchain is supporting. So that can be decided from the project managers, what would be like that. And we hope the integration of, so blockchain is a part of project. So the projects are the normal projects as it used to be. So there are still front-end developers, back-end developers, DevOps engineers, QA engineers, they're still there. And there are some specialized blockchain developers as well. This is how it goes.
Have you also worked on like other like back end or like maybe the front end things as well, while you were working on blockchain, like these kind of projects that involve with blockchain throughout like your career?
In the starting, I had worked on even front-end side when I had to provide POC on my own. I was working with Siemens that time, and as an intern. So as an intern, I had to provide everything end to end. So I was
Wow.
working on front end as well. Definitely my whatever front end I had developed, that wasn't that good. But in POC it works.
Yeah, I think like the main thing is like that it works and it can give you the results that you want. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. In POC that really happens.
Yeah, that's very interesting to hear from your side. Okay, so I think we've come to like the 45-minute mark of our session. So I'll just quickly look over like if there's any Q&As from our audience. Okay, so there's one. So this attendee would like to know like they're interested in blockchain technology and want to get a job in the industry. What would it be the minimum skills required to become a blockchain developer? And do you have any tips for us beginners? Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Actually, start participating more and more these groups I already mentioned, and try to find an internship first. if you can find as a beginner an internship, that will be very helpful. And you can learn Golang and Solidity as well. And as a blockchain developer, you can definitely, you need the understanding of some Node.js and some other technologies, supporting technologies as well. But you can start with Golang. And cryptographic concepts, please go through that.
Thank you so much, Priti. I think that's the only one question I see so far. Just to follow up on the question, would you have any like resources, like for example, places where you would be able to score articles or do like reading, maybe on like keep up to date on the blockchain news that you would be able to share with us? Like, is there any sites that you generally frequent?
I see Medium, Medium and Coursera for some courses. And Medium has plenty of materials.
Yeah, they do. I think that would be a great place to start. Yeah. So if anyone else has any questions, do put your questions in the Q&A box. Okay. So far, I'm not seeing any more questions. Okay. Okay, if there are no further questions, or if you have any further questions you'd like to like pass on to Priti, you can like ping me in Slack on our Women Who Code blockchain channel, and I can help you to ask Priti if there's any follow-up questions. But if not, thank you so much for being here with us, and thank you to our amazing speaker Priti, and who has shared some incredible insights. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Have a great day. Thank you.